Welcome, everyone. This is the Daily Report Card. I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital. Thanks for participating today in our webinar. I presented to a charity event a while ago an idea as a challenge to the trading community. And what I did was I challenged them to incorporate this best practice that we've been utilizing on our desk, which we call the Daily Report Card. And I'm going to challenge you guys to do that as well. And we're going to bring in about 10 minutes, we're going to bring a trader who is using the Daily Report Card. And I've actually been offering some feedback on his Daily Report Card to him. And we'll get his experience with that. But first, I want to sort of explain the Daily Report Card overall and how it might help your trading. This is an idea to improve your trading, and certainly that in the trading community. So my question is, what if at the end of each trading session, you posted a trading report card and not just your trading P&L? So if you scour the internet, you'll see people saying, I made 5,000 or 1,000 or 500 or 400, and putting that out there, making sure that they're transparent to other people. And I think that's great. But what I challenge you guys to do is to take a next step, which is to share your daily report card. And what if this became prominent as a best practice for the online trading community, so that people weren't just posting their P&L, but they were posting their P&L and their daily report card. The report card would focus on one monthly goal, perhaps sizing, consistency, expanding your playbook. We say trading broader. One of the seven-figure traders on our desk, we talk about trading bigger and broader. And by that, we mean expressing what he does best in markets in more different types of stocks, broader. Perhaps it's limiting your losses. The report card would be your daily progress report on that goal. You'd give yourself a grade for the trading session on that one goal. Pick one goal, work intensively on this one goal, develop solutions to achieve this goal, complete a report card at the end of each trading session on the progress that you've made on that one goal. So that's the one goal. That's how it works. Pick one goal, work on it intensively, develop solutions with best practices to achieve that goal, complete that report card at the end of each trading session on the progress that you made on that one goal. Pick one goal and work on it intensively. This is an exercise. This daily report card is what we're doing on our proprietary trading desk. I have said this a lot. 85% of our time is spent running our P&L proprietary trading desk in New York City. 15% of the time is doing stuff like this with our trading community. And mostly what we're trying to do with SMB training is source talent so that you're somebody like this in the picture. This is Eli. So that you're Eli, you're sitting on our desk. He sits actually to the left of me. Gave me a great idea, by the way, about trading volatility better yesterday, which I'll share perhaps in a different webinar. But we want to source talent. We want to hire people who think like us, who are passionate about trading like us, who've got some ability, who are serious, who are trying to get better every day. And that when we say, hey, let's do this daily report card, get it. They understand the connection between that, how that makes them a better trader. So we're doing this on our desk. You pick one goal and you work on it intensively. So one of the guys on our desk, who's a seven-figure trader, his goal was team trading technology. Every week, once a week, they wanted to put on their schedule a time that they'd all meet as a team to work on technology. So we have the best trading technology on the street for the space that we're in. And our desk has the ability to, from your seat, you can build custom filters. You can build scripts. A script is entering automatically into a position, and then you, with discretion, trade out of it. So you can say, every time a stock does 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, get me into the position. And it gets you into the position. And then, and then you trade out of it. So we call it a script. And then you can also build models. And so the trader to the left of Shark, Jeff, works with Shark, who is the senior trader, to build models. They actually have 4 models that have come online. And so one of the great things is that you can be a senior trader, you can have lots of really good ideas, and you can express those ideas by pushing the buttons. But then when you have a team, and then you take the time each week to hold this weekly meeting, you can sort out the ideas that you want a junior trader to test, and then potentially code, back test, forward test, and code into a model. So you don't have to do all the work. You can be a senior trader, doesn't have to do all the work. You can just give an idea to a junior guy who wants to help you because you're helping them. And then you can have this additive line of P&L with models. Very powerful. And so, the other day, one of our junior guys made $1,500 on a model, and he made $3,000 trading. And you put that all together, that starts to add up on a particular day. Different ways to make money. But that was the goal. Let's be organized. Let's put it on the calendar. And let's talk about how we can use technology to make more money. So the impact. Across the trading community, developing and new traders would see traders of all levels working on growth. Across the trading community, developing and new traders would see traders of all levels working on solutions for improvement. So you wouldn't just see on the Twitter sphere, I got to work on my psychology. I'm trading on tilt. I was trading volatility today, and that got me on tilt, and I lost too much money. Okay, there are solutions that you can incorporate to help yourself get better. One of the things we do is we teach people how to build the skills so that when they recognize they're on tilt, to step away, reset, and then come back and treat the day as if it's new. Traders of all levels would truly be judging their trading session on the important things for them to improve. This would change the culture from celebrating the P&L, as Merritt and I say, as celebrating P&L, to focus on trading growth. The culture of the trading community would change from bragging about P&L, celebrating about P&L, how much money you made, to focusing on trading growth. That's how you really make money as a trader. The guys who make 7 figures on the desk and more, they focus on getting better. On our desk, if you make $2 million net plus in a trading year, you get a black shirt. We're fortunate to have multiple guys who earned black shirts last year. Every point of the way, when they were making $4,000 a month, when they were making $30,000 a month, when they were making more, they were focusing, even now, they're focusing on the next step. For them, the next step is how to become an 8-figure trader. Trading growth, that's how you become a great trader. The best way to contribute to the trading community. Instead of putting your P&L up, I think a report card would be better. Sharing P&L with the community is well-intentioned and very positive and great to be transparent, but it's not sufficient alone for the best role modeling that successful traders can offer. And certainly kudos to those that are sharing their P&L that differentiate themselves from the fake people out there on Twitter and StockTwits. And huge gratitude for all those that are sharing their P&L. We actually have had one of those traders come on SME training and share their success story with us. And huge thank you for those sharing the P&L that are proactively working to improve the trading community and sending a message to the trading community that you can do it. The most important goal for traders of all levels who want to be sustaining and achieve their best is to improve daily. And the daily report card is sending that message to all traders of all levels that the way to be sustaining and achieve their best is to improve daily, creating solutions for one goal to get better with. So one of our guys specifically has been working on sizing. And let's just say that's one of your goals. let's say your goal is to increase your sizing. Well, judging your trading performance on sizing just on P&L wouldn't be sufficient. Perhaps your P&L was atrocious, but you sized up on your A-plus trades. But that would be a great day. Perhaps your P&L was a personal best, but you wussed out on one of your favorite setups. That would not be a good day. You can do better. You would be underperforming on that day. P&L is not a true measure of progress. A focus on P&L doesn't allow you to focus on the most important goal, which is growth. So our experience here, building, coaching, mentoring, funding, hiring new developing experienced traders is a best practice from Dr. Steenbarger that we've turned into this exercise. Dr. Steenbarger chatted with me about doing this daily report card with our top traders. So we're fortunate that we have Dr. Steenbarger, great trading coach, coaches some of the top traders in the world. He works with all of our traders. So we get to see him now 3 times a month, and he's always actually available to email with us. And every day, the top traders send their daily report card to Dr. Steenbarger and myself, and we give them feedback. We're mentoring. I mentor the traders, and he's coaching them so that they can get to that next level. And we found that this intensive focus on improvement has really helped. It's been highly successful at our desk with 7-figure traders, high-performing traders, developing traders, new traders. The report card is a proven trading technique based upon the results on our desk to improve performance. So some examples from the desk, low floats. So that's one of the strategies that some of the guys use on our desk is they look for these stocks that are perhaps less competitive than the Apples and the Teslas and the Netflix, the high beta names of the world. They're playing in a game where the most sophisticated players don't play. So it's just one of the strategies that we employ. Although I have to say, with the volatility picking up, they've been trading them. They haven't really been trading them. So this is from the report card of one of our guys. Today, I had one of my largest swings going from down almost 45,000 to up 55,000 at one point. Reflecting on the day, there are some good and some bad points. Overall, really happy stepping up my game in my A-plus situations. Things can always be better, but you learn each time and you add to that experience bank. And so look at the way the trader is thinking. The trader is thinking about how he can get better. He's not thinking about the $55,000 that he made on the trading day. He's thinking about what he did well that he can grow from. The progress on sizing is most important. Here's one of our guys writing, the real prize from this trading session to this 7-figure trader is the experience of being tested with larger size, feeling what it's like, struggling at times, facing fear, being uncomfortable in real time, and learning. Let me just sort of take a step back. This is from one of the posts that I wrote about one of the traders progressing. The real prize for his trading session to this 7-figure trader is the experience of being tested with larger size. Remember, he's trading larger size, feeling what it's like, struggling at times, facing fear, starting down, and then coming back, being uncomfortable in real time and learning. And as a result, his sizing, his drawdown, his upside will all be larger in the future, allowing the trader to grow. This type of progress is happening because he is focusing on that one goal of sizing and giving himself a grade on it. So one of our other traders was focusing on solving for patience and aggressiveness. When you trade bigger, one of the things you want to work on is being really aggressive, but doing so at the right time. And as an intraday trader, those two have to come together. You gotta, if you want to short, you want to hit the bids real hard at the right moment, but you got to do it with really size, but you can't do it too early. If you get big too early, a lot of times you get run over by HFTs. So we're working on, with some of our guys, a combination of sizing and open-mindedness. And in this day, from his report card, this trader says, I'm going to give myself a 3 out of 10 on sizing and open-mindedness. Lost $8,000, not particularly a big deal. Look at what he writes. I would say the morning for my goal was 1 out of 10, and the afternoon was 8 out of 10. But the damage was done at that point. Honestly, I let myself get tricked this morning. I let myself set a bias that really affected my trading way too much, and I was a bit over aggressive again, and this time without as much risk management. Very costly. In the morning, we had huge fades on a lot of these low floats I was looking at. Unfortunately, while I was commuting to the office, I still worked into some aggressive shorts. I even got up to 15K before the market opened. At that point, I got way too comfortable. Once again, I over-focused on a particular stock. I had a really nice size. At that point, I knew that if it really had to hold that high, but that it took it out, I only covered some and gave myself too much room. I can always get back in. Instead of covering and reprobing it around the 2-day VWAP, where I tried it with size, once again, I let it go and battle with it. I look at my blotter and I'm down almost 1K gross, and I have a juicy 26 rip. I can be in anticipatory puts with risk setting, but battling is not only costing me money, but mental capital away from the other things that I can be working on. So the important thing to dissect is why it happened, especially after a lot of self-talk pre-market, and on my way to remain patient, focused on my goals. And so he then starts to solve for patience and aggressiveness. So he's not being patient enough. Risk factors to identify: a loss on the stock yesterday, assuming pre-market action spills over to the open, a lot of positions making it harder to key, thinking I'm too good. Overall, not my best day, but again, I'm fighting. And once again, a lot of good setups getting into tomorrow, and a lot of them with good levels. And then he writes, excited to get another crack to turn things around here the rest of the week. And so, this is from one of our traders' daily report card. And you should notice something that's not right. You should notice something. And we highlighted here. He's working on sizing and open-mindedness. He's a big trader, wants to trade bigger. And when I read this and I saw this last line, excited to get another crack to turn things around here the rest of the week, I'm sure some of you guys face this. I'm sure some of you guys have the problem, is that this very line is exactly the reason why he underperformed. This very line is the thing when he trades at his worst. You don't want to be excited. You don't want to be overly excited about opportunity. This trader actually trades best when he lets the opportunity come to him. This trader trades best when he doesn't anticipate particular big moves in stocks. When this trader doesn't particularly expect to make a lot of money. When he's at his best, he lets the market come to him. He observes the market. He sees the opportunities, and then he's aggressive. And so him writing, excited to get another crack to turn things around, is an example of something, well, I'll sort of respond to him and say, hey, when do you trade your best? You trade your best when you let the market come to you. And what I'm seeing in this report card is you being too hyped up and over trying and getting in the way of your own success. So one of the goals for one of our traders is consistency. He wants to be more consistent. And for him, that solution is life balance. When he has a balanced life, he trades great. When he doesn't, he trades underperforms miserably. And he has come up with a solution to judge himself on consistency, getting in on a certain time, meditating, getting to work at a certain time, being healthy, working out, doing his work. And instead of judging himself on his P&L, he's judging himself on how consistent he was in doing the best practices that make him good. This is what he's judging his day on. Did I do all these things? If I do these things every day, I'm going to make money. My goal is consistency. My solution is life balance. I judge myself on my consistency in my daily report card. All right. Consistency, following intuition. Process 8 out of 10, sizing 9 out of 10. Following intuition, 10 out of 10. 4.5 thousand. One of our guys finds that for him to be consistent with his trading, he needs to sort of follow his gut. And the thing that he's going to work most on and was working on most here was he following his intuition? That's not the $4.5 thousand he made, but was he following his intuition? That is what centers his report card. Beating yourself up about your trading without solutions is not helpful. I see this a lot on our desk. I get this in my inbox. Certainly, there are some horror stories out there on the street about people who got themselves caught in some of these volatility products. I've heard way too many stories about really experienced guys who were on the wrong side of these products. You know, look, if you underperform, beating yourself up is not helpful. What you want to be thinking about is, because then all you're really doing is teaching yourself how to beat yourself up. What you want to do is say, here is a solution to how I won't be in that situation next time. Maybe it's, let me double down on my risk management rules. Maybe I lost $10,000 in the after hours trading the volatility products, and I should have lost 5. Let me double down on my risk management rules. If I do that, then my losses will be less. Okay. Maybe I notice that I don't trade particularly well in the after hours. The idea is when you underperform, you need to come up with a best practice that can be a solution for you so you progress. Where are your solutions? Report card.
Let me comment on that right quick as
well.
Yeah. I run across a lot of times two different types of people in this regard. One, you have people that are so negative and they're doing exactly what you say. You read their review and all they're doing is beating themselves up. That's all they're doing. They're calling themselves an idiot. They're calling themselves stupid. How can you continue to make these mistakes? Blah, blah, blah. I should have seen this, should have done that, blah, blah. That's not constructive, just like Bella's saying. So you want to take it a step further. You want to come up with solutions like I'm sure he's going to talk about here and whatnot. You want to take that negative, admit it, and then move on and look at your own behavioral cues and triggers. Was it a part of your report card? Did you come into the day after a fight with your girlfriend and not enough sleep and you have a cold? You want to assess those things as you even begin to prep for your day. But anyways, there's another type of person also who is overly positive. They make a horrible mistake that they've made 10 times this month, and they say, you know what, it's okay. Bella told me not to beat myself up, so it's fine. I'm just going to do better. Well, that also does you no good either. So don't be on either of those spectrums of overly negative or stupidly positive, where you don't even admit the negative exists and address it with a solutions type of focused deal. So I just had to say that. I see a lot of people on those two camps, and you want to bring it home to process that you can implement and monitor and have as a process goal and part of your daily report card going forward. Makes all the difference.
All right, great. And an example of what you're talking about is this daily report card. At the end, trader says the disappointment is necessarily with my P&L. Instead, it's because I feel like I did a total disservice to myself. I was prepared for today, but when it came time to pull the trigger, I lacked the confidence. I don't know what that means. How is that helpful? How are you going to improve your confidence? How are you going to work on pulling the trigger at the right time? That's where the attention needs to be in a daily report card like that. Writing stuff like this right down is only teaching yourself how to beat yourself up. That's not going to get you to the next level. How good can you be? So I wrote in the playbook, which this quote, which ends my second book, The Playbook: "You can be better tomorrow than you are today." A report card focused on one goal that you work on intensively and with solutions from best practices will help you improve. So we had a review of what we did well in 2017. And 2017 was a very strong trading year for SMB. The daily report card was the most important best practice implemented to help traders improve. So try it. I want to bring in Adam right here. So what we've decided to do, which Merritt will talk about, is offer the daily report card to the community. And sort of the genesis of this idea for us to do this actually came from our guest, Adam. And he wrote an email to me. We have been working together with a daily report card. He's been sending me a daily report card. I've been giving him feedback. And, we just were doing this. And he wrote at the end of one of his emails, "Again, I appreciate you investing time and helping me. You guys probably have 100,000 people you interact with. It's 99,000. And your personalized responses have been awesome. During our phone conversation, you offered to dialogue through the end of the month. Is there a program I could purchase to continue visiting with you? I've seen our conversations as being held responsible to Coach Bella," I guess that's me, "and that in and of itself has helped profoundly. Even if you hadn't given any feedback, the expectation of a well thought out report card and subsequent improvements is addictive." And so we've been doing this together, and I thought it'd be interesting to bring him in, somebody who's implementing this best practice into his trading, and get to know a little bit more about him and his experience. And so, Adam, thanks for joining us. You can jump in here.
All right. Yeah, thanks for pardon me. Thanks for having me.
All right, great. And appreciate you coming in. And well, why don't you tell the trading community, how did we get started working together on the daily report card?
Sure. Well, I watch your guys' stuff religiously. I've taken a lot of training from a lot of different firms, yours included, and it's a really good fit. So, again, as you've very well highlighted, there's intense focus on process. And so anyway, I'd been struggling with scaling up. I have more capital available to trade, and yet I still feel comfortable with my $37,000 account. So I needed to come up with some sort of a plan to scale into this. And I came up with what I thought was decent, but anyway, I sent you an email, just hoping to get your thoughts on it, and things kind of took off from there. So that's, I guess, how we got started. What I'm hoping to accomplish with it, I mean, it's like what you said, just continual improvement. I have a sign in my office. It's a Japanese symbol for Kaizen. It means constant improvement. And I heard that a long time ago, and it just always stuck with me. So like I said in the email, it sounds like a small thing, but it is a really big deal. Being able to work with you, I'm held responsible. I know that, if I say, hey, I'm having this issue and, this sucks, what do I do? Put myself in your shoes, I would want to say, oh, well, this guy's trying this, he's thinking about that. And so it's helped me to come up with my own answers to a certain extent, I guess. So it's kind of like, if you may not know the answer, but if you did, what would it be?
Why is that helpful? So, you're trading at home?
Yeah.
And so how does having somebody hold you accountable help you as somebody who's a home trader?
That's a good question. For me, I like coming up with a lot of different indicators, for different things. And, at the end of the day, it really is pretty simple. Actually, the best example I could give is one of the first things you started working on me with is just sticking to my A+ setups. I noticed I was starting to have B and even some B- setups creep in more and more and more. And just in talking with you, that was painfully obvious. Whereas before you and I started working together, I knew that it was starting to kind of creep in, but I didn't have that focus on it. So that in and of itself has improved my trading massively.
Yeah. And so, for you, I think we do a lot of that here internally too, which is guys start to understand what they trade well. They are measuring it intraday, daily. And so there are things that they do well, and guys trade differently here. And for whatever reason, they start to do too much of the things they don't really do as well. And, I think people do that. So they start to do too much of the things that they don't do well. And then they make, what kind of a conclusion? They conclude, oh, I can't do this job, or I don't have the discipline to do this job, or the market's rigged, or, they have bad thoughts. And the reality is that happens to even really good traders. And what you really need to do is sort of step back and take the time to be clear about what your A+ setups are. And, that means, what are the variables that go into your A+ setups? What exactly are they?
Right.
What exactly is your A+ setup? And not in any way be unorganized about that, or haphazard about that, or flippant about that. What exactly are your A+ setups? What exactly are the variables for your A+ setups? And are you really trading them enough with enough size? And so the people that are concluding, hey, I'm not a good trader. Well, you're not a good trader in setups that you're not good at. That may be the only thing that you ought to be concluding. And so focusing on the things you do well is what you need to do. It's like if you were watching an NBA basketball game, and one player was just a great rebounder. He's a great defensive player and a great rebounder. And you needed him for that on your team. And he plays one game and he's chucking up 3-pointers. He's on the 3-point line, and when you're on offense, he's just hoisting them up. You'd say, oh, that guy's a terrible player. No, that player's not doing what he should be doing. He should be rebounding and playing defense. That's where he adds his value. And as a trader, you need to be doing this well. And I can tell you, guys get off their game here too. And we sort of say, let's go back to doing what you do well. What is that? Let's think about that. Let's hold you accountable to doing that. Let's watch that you're doing that. And so for you, Adam, what are the setups that you're looking for?
Yeah, I love trading stuff that's it's hitting a new 12-month high. That, of course, a little bit different environment last couple of days, but anyway, I like it because the price dynamics they're specific, right? So in my all-time favorite best is when you have multiple time frames all converging, and then you have catalyst. Obviously, high R-vol news catalyst is always huge big plus. And touching on something you mentioned earlier, when you and I first started working together, there was I think one of my first big issues was the sizing, right? Getting bigger in my A+ trades, and just you said to double and triple down on focusing on my A+ setups. I gained great confidence in that. Just going over the variables. You had I think it was on Monday. You went through your process of identifying specific variables. Anyway, so over the weekend I did that, and that's helped massively. Other stuff I like trading.
So we were talking about breakout trades.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and there are variables that are important to the breakout trades that are most likely to follow through.
Right. Yep.
And if you are taking breakout trades and putting too much money in the ones that aren't showing those signs, then you're going to underperform. You gotta understand what makes a really good breakout trade. So sometimes people learn a breakout trade. Well, you got to learn a breakout trade. That's fine, but then you got to learn what makes the best of the breakout trades, and then you got to learn what makes the best of the breakout trades for you, and you got to archive that. You got to write down very specifically the variables for that. We actually did a webinar on this setup as well. And what's interesting, Adam, is that Peter Brandt wrote a really interesting. Actually, Dr. Steenbarger sent me a really interesting piece from Peter Brandt about an idea that's similar to the trade that you like. So you like trades that break out to all-time highs, and he does too. And what he was saying, a very effective trade was when you have a pull-in and the longer-term trend of the marketplace is up. So when you have a big pull-in, and then after this pull-in, stocks start to turn around and start to go back up, stocks that break out of other important resistance areas oftentimes are really good longs as well. And so I think one of the things that I sort of said to you was that's great that you're looking for all-time high trades, but how do you take that idea and express it more often? And how do you express it in similar trades? And one of the ways you can express it in similar trades is you can think of the next really important breakout type of trade. It doesn't have to be an all-time high. Maybe it's like a 6-month high or a 3-month high or a significant period of congestion. And maybe you can incorporate that into your trading. And then Peter Brandt was saying, hey, I've got the same type of idea that Adam uses. He didn't use you by name, that Adam uses. And now let me overlay another interesting variable, which is strong up market that has pulled in significantly that starts to turn back up. Let's look for things that are breaking out of important areas and get long. So Snap was one of the examples that he used as something that was breaking out from a longer term resistance area that wasn't necessarily, that didn't need to be at all-time highs, that was a really good long. And so, I would encourage you to keep thinking about what you do well, which is buying breakout trades, but they don't have to only be at all-time highs. How do you find the trades most similar to the variables of the all-time high breakouts that you also can start to build your playbook to sort of broaden your playbook with?
Right. For me, I like the stuff sitting a new all-time high. Again, because of the pricing dynamics, everybody is kind of come into an agreement. It's like, okay, well, it's been in congestion. There's been this big battle, and now pretty much everybody's in alignment. So you suggested that a while back in our email. Find other areas. So an example today is Twitter. So it hit an important technical barrier, hit support, and thought, okay, well, I've set a lot of alerts and just kind of kept watching it, bought a put and took, pretty good profit out of it. But I guess that's one example of, not just limiting it to just one specific little thing.
That's what Merritt and I do when we hear some good news like that. That's great.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? What other questions?
Well, so, What is, what's one goal accomplished that you think would impact your trading the most?
Just since we've been talking, there's been a number of things that the report cards helped with. One is I like coding on Thinkorswim with their ThinkScript. So I made a little indicator. It's in the top left-hand corner of my screen that shows my share sizing. And so it's, my total number of shares that I can buy with my buying power. And then I have another one right next to it, and it's divided in 3. So there's that. What else? Again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm really blown away by how much it's impacted not just my P&L, but just my psychology throughout the day, just sticking to my A+ setups. There's specific reasons why they are my A+ setups. I've been there before. I know how it's, what are the most likely ways that this is going to play out. And so I think about, I think you might have talked about Jordan in one of your books, but he's practiced the same thing 10,000 times. So he knows when a guy, if a guy's coming at him this way, he can do this or that, just, I've been there before. Another big thing is Thinkorswim, they have the on-demand playback feature. I've been using that quite a bit, but since we've been talking, I've been just focusing on my A+ setups, and that's really helped a lot.
Yeah, look, I think that's helpful to have somebody sort of saying to you, hey, you're working on the right things and you're in the right direction. Because it is hard to have confidence whether or not you're on the right track when you're trying to figure it out as a home-based trader, because why would you know? I mean, why would you expect it to know that? But if somebody's been through it and knows it works and has seen it work with traders, is seeing it working with certain types of traders, then hearing that really gives you more confidence. You're sort of getting affirmation from a subject matter expert that you're on the right track. And there are guys, there are 7-figure guys here too who need that too, from Steve or myself or Dr. Steenbarger. You need that. I mean, how else are you supposed to have more confidence in what you're doing? And it really matters. I've seen traders become 7-figure traders trading one setup. And so, when we say things like, let's focus on one thing, we say things like trade your A+ setups. What we're really saying is, this might be the thing for you. This might be the very thing that we've seen, for whatever reason, has made guys really great. It can be that important. It can be that. It can be. You could be a 7-figure trader potentially now, but you lack understanding how powerful one particular setup is for you. You're not trading it big enough. You're not trading it often enough. And maybe somebody pointing you in the right direction, that can be really helpful. I mean, I think one of the things that I try and do here is I say to guys, I get to talk to people who make a lot of money in the space. And, there's just, that's a huge advantage from doing this job. And so when I see traders starting to do the things that I know people in our space make careers out of, I'm going to encourage that, particularly when they have talent for those particular setups. And that's important. That can be really important.
Definitely. I guess to add to that, like you said, being an at-home trader, you read stuff, you watch stuff, and it's like, well, I think that I'm on the right track on this, and it seems to be working. I look at it like you're in the business of developing traders. So, if based on your experience, this is what I need to focus on, well, I'm going to be unoriginal in that regard. The other thing is, like, I like golf, and Phil Mickelson, he's like one of my favorite golfers. He has a caddy for a reason. He might be able to see it just perfectly, but this caddy's very well paid, and for good reason. He gives really great advice. Anyway, that's how I say. I'm not being paid to give a plug to this, by the way.
That's one of the things that Bella, I remember reading when I first got to New York and sat down and started the foundation program here, is in kind of his introductory language. There's this phrase, I'll never forget it. It says, "First be unoriginal."
Right.
First be unoriginal. Then with the experience under your belt and those kind of things, sure, you can develop into your own, you can develop your own nuances and style and niche and all this kind of stuff. But first be unoriginal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to his mic. He cut out there. I don't know. Maybe he started trading. Yeah, I think that's great. I think we should probably call people who trade at home independent traders, though. I don't think
There
we
you
should
go.
call them independent traders. That's yeah. And I'm a huge Phil Mickelson fan as well, but that's a preference thing. Any advice for any of the independent traders coming up the curve from your experience?
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Simply just get the best education you can. Again, I'm not being paid to say this. I've taken education from a lot of different firms. I'm friends with people that run other firms, and this is for me personally, it seemed to be the best fit. My background, I ran is a small book, but it's a $22 million book for clients, and it was a systematic trend following model, and we call it Veritrend. We're looking for the true trend of the market. And anyway, I started noticing more and more that, hey, holy cow, there's a ton of edge that I can gain for my clients just by gaming the entries just a little bit. And we're trading on a week bar. So anyway, it got progressively smaller and smaller time frame that I was focused on, and that led me to SMB. And man, it really does. It makes all the world of difference. The foundation program I've got particular value from.
All right, great. Look, I appreciate you stopping by. You spent a lot of time with us today, and I'm sure you got to get back to doing some of your other stuff.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Shoot me over your daily report card, please, after the close. After this, we'll get working. Merritt, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and thanks, and thanks, Adam.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So right quick, guys, as Bella mentioned, Adam inspired us to adjust the volume on his computer. I'm kidding. Bella, Adam and a handful of others has really, I guess, impacted Bella lately in terms of just the overall quality of our community, the number of guys out there that are just top notch, but really doing this from home, but that need a little extra something, that need that accountability, that need that little push to focus on something specific, to develop these best practices and routines and all these kind of things. And it's not rocket science, but it is, as Adam has highlighted to us, extremely impactful. And we see this time and time and time again. Not only people that come train with us here, but people, retail traders, independent traders, whatever you call them, trading from home. So we got this idea. Why not find more of you unbelievable guys like Adam, work with them, help them get better? Who knows? The very best case scenario for us is that one day you get good enough to trade our capital. I think that's a pretty good win-win for everyone. So we've come out with a way for you to get involved with a daily report card for you to get involved with Bella himself. So it's just I can't tell you, if I was back home in Alabama trading in a home office, what kind of opportunity that I would have seen that as, to spend a month getting that type of critical feedback, intense focused growth, and structure, overall structure for improvement, process for development, which the daily report card so aptly does. Look, send develop a daily report card with him, send it over, summary of your prep, what you traded, how you made decisions through the day, how well you adhered to your process, your own assessment of your progress as it relates to process and performance goals that you guys have come up with and that you have. Receive personal feedback from Bella. This is all done via email. Perspective of what top traders in the firm are doing that day, how your decisions compared. That's just something that's absolutely huge to tap into. In isolation, what are you trading at home? How good of a job are you doing it? To get to tap into what a professional firm was trading that day and how good of a job they did it, that's really, really insightful. Not just from a pre-market, which I know we put out on Twitter and whatnot, and here's some names we're trading and things like that. You can obviously join Steve Spencer's AM call. But to get that end of day feedback on our perspective, how we performed and what we did on different names and whatnot, it's going to be very, very enlightening. Develop new relationships. Get to know Bella. Bella get to know you. Other professional traders. Get introduced to other traders who can work with you further to develop, go to the even higher levels. Again, a win-win. The biggest win for us is that you actually end up joining our firm, backed by us. We take the risk because we want to back you. We all know this last point here: grow faster with a better plan. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Otherwise, you're just building bad habits. 30 days with Bella, accelerate your learning curve, get a better understanding exactly what you need to do to get to the next level. Bella has kind of, as they say, been around the block. He's seen many traders come and go. He has a real knack for identifying, okay, send me this review for a couple days, boom, I'm right on you. I know exactly what it is that you need to really focus on to get to the next level. So smbu.com/report card. Don't put in the www, just smbu.com/report card. All right, guys, really, really awesome opportunity. Get better, focused growth, professional, looking over your shoulder. Got to thank Adam for coming on. It's not easy to put yourself out there, especially in a public sense like this. And I guarantee you, Adam, doing so will make you better for sticking your neck out there a little bit. So thanks for that, brother.
Thanks again for having me.